this is a quick tutorial to help you get some quick relief if you're having sciatic nerve issues. A lot of that nerve issue happens because we have a lot of tightness in the piriformis and the hip area in our body. There's a nerve, the sciatic nerve actually runs through your bottom, your glute, and there's two muscles there that kind of form the buttocks, and they get tight and they squeeze on that nerve, and that causes a lot of problems. For some people, the nerve actually runs through the muscle tissue, and that makes it even worse. So the best way to relieve any issues or problems you're having is to relax that muscle. And so here is a couple things you can do for some quick relief. The first thing is we're going to stretch those hips from a chair. If you have hip issues, maybe a hip replacement, that type of thing, you can just cross one foot over the other on the floor here. If you don't have any big issues and it feels comfortable for you to cross one knee over the other, that is another position you can be. And our final position, if it's available to you, is crossing the ankle over the knee. Now in this position, the knee wants to come inside a lot of times. So we want to tic-tac that foot out so that that knee is in line with the other hip. And we want to make sure that that foot is flexed, not overly flexed so it's rigid, but it's like as if you were like flat against a wall. We don't want that foot to supinate or pronate, and this will help protect this knee in this position. So regardless of what cross that you choose, okay, you're going to take a nice big inhale, roll the shoulders back, and as you exhale, you're going to allow the stomach to gently come forward until you start to feel something in that hip area. So I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see what this looks like from here. So you take a nice big inhale and then exhale forward. I don't have to come very far at all to start feeling that pull in that area. So you just take yourself to your edge, take an inhale, allow that back and that upper body to extend, and then as you exhale, allow the lower abdomen area to soften in between the legs. And if you do this for a good 6 breaths, you can even hold this for a couple minutes if it feels okay. You can use one hand as a little bit of counter pressure on the outer knee, but you don't really need to push a whole lot here. I would just hold on to it. And it's really important to keep the body relaxed, so pay attention to the muscles in the face. Are you clenching your teeth or squinting the eyebrows? What are your fingers and your toes doing? Do you have a death grip on that leg? Maybe just kind of release it. And so you're going to use that breath to slowly release that hip area. And if you do one side, it's important to do the other side. Even though you might have the sciatica pain on one side, everything is connected. So it's really important to do both sides. And that's a great way to get a little bit of relief. And then maybe just like lifting up those hips a little bit. Sometimes that's not enough for us, okay? So another really fantastic way to release the piriformis and a lot of the muscle area back there is with a ball. You can do this on the floor. It's difficult to do on a chair, so I'd recommend the floor or the wall. I will show you the floor method first. So you just simply take the ball, it's very simple, come onto the floor and get into that old crab crawl position we did when we were kids in PE, and just put that ball underneath one buttock area and just roll it around and look for the owie spots. And believe me, there will be several owie spots, but when you find that owie spot, that's where you breathe. And you can control how much weight with your legs and stuff how much you put in there, but you breathe into that owie spot. I would say breathe into that spot for at least 3 breaths, and then move it around again. And once you've done one side, you can do the other side. The other alternative, if being on the floor is not an option for you, you can certainly do it against a wall. So you just take that ball against that wall, make sure that you step those feet out so that you have the weight, your weight up against the wall, and just simply roll it around until go to the outer hip, all the way towards the center, towards the tailbone, up and down. So, and make sure that if you do one side, that you do the other side. Everything in our body's connected. Those two things will be really helpful in releasing that tightness. We get a lot of that when we sit a lot. The other thing that happens is that the back of the hamstrings get tight, our IT bands, and that all pulls on the back and all those muscles around there. So what you can do as well for the back of the legs is you can, from a chair, you can put your heel down, and just like we moved forward with the, maybe reach under the leg to help make a little bit more surface area, you can reach and get there under here. You can do that. And then to get to the IT bands, you can turn that leg sideways, maybe slide the leg back to get into that psoas muscle, and bring it forward and slide it back, okay, if it's available. But if there's anything you're going to do, it's this one, okay, the crossing the leg one, whichever cross. And remember that our sides are different. So one side we might be at the ankles, and the other side we might be on the knees, okay, and that's okay. So do with the one that feels good for you, and remember that as you come forward, that it's always with a straight back. The moment we round the shoulders and just try to get down, it becomes a lower back issue as opposed to that hip. So it's very important that we lead with the belly and keep a nice straight back and the shoulders back. So hopefully those few little tricks will help you with that sciatica, and before long you won't have any issues anymore.